You are live. Well, thanks for the countdown, StreamYard. Guys, we're live. I'm here with Melissa Simonson. We're live streaming live to you. So I can't emphasize the liveness of this any more than to say this is a live stream.
It sort of snuck up on us a little bit, right?
Kind of did, yeah. We were having some pre-live stream talking, but let's do some quick introductions, okay? So if it's possible that a lot of people have never seen either of us, because I know I posted this in 2 Facebook groups that I admin for, that basically they're my Facebook groups, and they've grown by like more than 10,000 each in each group since I last made a live stream. So that like 20,000 people might not know what I look like.
Sure.
So my name's Jacob. Hello, welcome. I'm from Canada, and I'm near Ottawa, and welcome to the live stream. This is simulcast streaming on my personal Facebook page, and then it has been shared to 2 Facebook groups. One of them is FBA, Top Sellers for Newbies and Pros, which is around 14 to 15,000 online e-commerce sellers, primarily in Amazon sellers. They're very exciting. There's a lot of content there around how to sell on Amazon FBA. And then the second group that I decided let's stream to them too, because I think they would appreciate the content that we have today, is Merch by Amazon, Top Sellers for Newbies and Pros. And that group is more than 20,000 members. They are primarily print-on-demand sellers across multiple platforms. But of course, there's a special love for Merch by Amazon, which is, of course, connected to Amazon.com. And many people shop there, so many people like to make sales there and get royalties. I'm joined by Melissa Simonson. Melissa.
Hello.
It looks like you're in an exciting, looks like you're in the family room. There's a poster, there's a wall thing behind you. It says family on it.
That is correct. These are my boys. Yep.
Perfect. So Melissa and the boys in the family room, and you are the general manager for Empowery.
That's correct.
All right. And Empowery, I'm going to put a banner at the bottom, has free resources for online sellers, correct?
Yes. Yeah. We're a nonprofit member-owned cooperative that was founded to help e-commerce entrepreneurs. So we do as much as we can to help entrepreneurs succeed, because we feel like the more entrepreneurs there are in the world, the better the world is. And we specialize, of course, in e-commerce because there really isn't a trade association or, a cooperative or anything like that for e-commerce. And without something like that, then it's really going to be difficult for each individual seller to succeed and have the same kind of benefits that the bigger businesses have. This is how we help them get a leg up.
A nonprofit cooperative for online sellers. Did I catch that right?
That is correct.
So what do you do with profits if you have the cash? What happens to it since it's nonprofit?
Right.
Some people may not be familiar with that model. It may be new. We were talking sellers that are usually trying to get profit. You're talking nonprofit. Tell me about it. How do you support sellers? What is Empowery? Why? Let's say this is the first time. This is Melissa, time number 1.
Okay. So Empowery, as a nonprofit member-owned cooperative, what happens is we have partnerships with many, many service providers. And so we try and choose the cream of the crop from each service category. So let's say you need someone in graphic design. We research and vet out a few resources. We narrow it down and we choose 1 to 2 in each category of service. So we'll choose 1 to 2 graphic designers that we think are, cream of the crop. We will form strategic partnerships, and then we make sure that we get upfront discounts negotiated on your behalf. We get a perk pack, so you guys have additional perks. So it's, the velvet rope is being lifted for our members, and they earn cash back. The cash back is what's important in terms of the nonprofit status. When you guys spend money with the service providers, you get a portion of that back. Now, normally that goes to someone else. That's an affiliate fee or a referral commission, or, it has many, many names. But in the case of Empowery, 49% or less will remain with the co-op. And we use that to cover overhead and things like that. 51% or more goes back to the member who spent that money with that partner.
All right, I'm going to summarize that. And I'm going to try to use less words because I like to concentrate all my information. What I heard was it's a nonprofit.
Yes.
You have vetted service providers that you provide access to your Empowery members. And when the members use those service providers, rather than taking affiliate income from the service providers, you provide that back to your members as cashback.
Yes. So a portion of it remains with the co-op so we can keep doing what we do to help you guys succeed. And a portion of it goes back to the member who spent the money. Yep.
And this is super beneficial. So if you're an online seller and you want to save money, you can do that with Empowery. You get exactly the same stuff, but you save money.
Right.
Plus, you don't have to waste your time with like 6 different vendors trying to figure out who's legit, because Empowery has done the research for you.
Right.
And what happens if a vendor screws up? Do you drop them and get a new vendor? Like, how can people know that Empowery has picked the right vendor for them or for their members?
Well, that's the thing. That's why we try to have a couple different options so that you can choose between a couple of really great options and see which one really works best for you and your company. We have a couple of things that we look for in terms of differentiation. So let's say for accounting, we have one that's, one size fits all. They do it all. You pay a monthly fee and you just like, I don't want to look at it. You guys handle everything. And that works for a lot of people. But some people, they already have a bookkeeper. They already have someone who does their taxes, maybe. So they need someone to do a couple things, but not everything. So we have a different accounting service that does like a la carte, right? And so you can only be paying for the things that you're using. And that works really well for other types of customers. So we have a couple different options based on the differentiation of services. If we have 2 that are exactly the same, that's very rare, but sometimes we allow for that if that type of service is one that you kind of need that personality click to happen for that kind of service, right? Maybe that's for copywriting or for web design or something where you really need to mesh personalities well, like exits, right? You're selling your baby, you need to like get on well with the person you're selling with.
All right. So now we know about Empowery a little bit. Now you're the general manager for Empowery, right? So you're sort of like the face of Empowery for a lot of people, right?
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Because I'm not very good at doing introductions at the moment. So I'll let you introduce yourself.
I don't know where to begin. I'm the GM for Empowery. I partnered with one of my brothers on a product that we sell in the pet category. I have been in e-commerce most recently for the past, maybe 3.5 years. Before that, I actually entered e-commerce working for my brother, Steve Simonson, back when I was like 15 years old. He had an online flooring store. His first shopping cart sale was in 1998. And this is back when like we had a basement full of programmers and you had to build the website, you had to build the listings. I had to learn HTML so that I could change the listings and list, warranties and installation details and stuff. So that was my first exposure to e-commerce. That's really how I got my first start in it. And it's been many years since then before I re-entered the space and did it in a big way to help support the e-commerce industry with Steve as one of the co-founders of Empowery.
All right. So this is a brother-sister situation. So you're Melissa. Your brother's name is Steve.
Yes.
You've been doing e-commerce since 1998.
Yeah, I would say I did a little bit with Steve. I did a little bit working for Steve when I was.
Your brother Steve's been doing e-commerce since 1998, and you work with him, so you have some online experience for more than 20 years.
Yeah,
that's fair to say.
That's
now, you've probably learned some things over the last 20 years, and I understand that Empowery is having some sort of Empowery Women e-commerce conference situation.
Yes, this is. I'm very excited about this.
Tell us about it. Tell us about it. Where is this thing? When is it? Where is it? When is it?
So this is very exciting because last year, actually, right before everything shut down in 2020, we were able to host the very first women's conference in e-commerce ever. And so that was the first Empowery Women e-commerce conference. And that was held it was on Manhattan Beach. And then right as we were flying out from LAX that weekend, the first case of COVID was announced having been found in LA that weekend. So that was a very, very trippy experience.
And then your conference brought COVID to America. I'm just kidding. But you were right in the middle of it when it was just coming on board, right? So that was kind of
nobody was really taking it seriously at that point. And so it was, a couple of people were like, hey, I'm coming from like China. Maybe we shouldn't travel. So there was a couple of those. But as far as the States were concerned, it was very minimal. It was really being downplayed. And so we still had our conference, and it was in the next couple of weeks after White Label Expo, and then Prosper got shut down and everything. So our event really was one of the final ones that was able to take place last year. And it was a spectacular event. It was so much more than I ever could have hoped for. In doing it the first time, I was not sure how it was going to be received.
Yeah.
To be honest, initially it was not received all that well. It took several months of I would say across the board, people had a hard time with this idea. Like, why do we need one that's just for women, or why do we need only women on the stage? But I think
so. The first one, did it have only women at the conference, or was that only on the stage?
It was only on the stage, and that was the thing. There's a misconception that men were not allowed to attend, that we were excluding an entire portion of the population, which was not the intention, right? The intention was we want to be more inclusive. We want to have a specific conference where women are more included on the stage and able to help develop their speaking resume so that they're able to speak at more conferences because they have the speaking experience, right?
Has that been an issue in the past, like women speaking at conferences for e-commerce?
Yeah, I would definitely say that. I think that I really started to notice as I entered the space in the last few years that there was a huge disparity in the amount of women on the stage versus the amount of men on the stage. And that, for me as a woman watching this, there's a totally different tone when you're listening to something. And there's also this lack of this ability to relate to the person who is speaking when it's not a woman. If you're listening as a woman, it's very difficult to say, I can really put myself in your shoes. But I know that one of the speakers from last year, Regina Peterbergsky, she saw another of the speakers from last year, Kirsty Verity, on a different stage. And she was one of the only women at this entire event. I think she might have been the only woman speaker at this other event. It was a very, very big event. And she was like, she's a woman. She's from Australia. She's, all of these things. If she can do it, I can do it. And that's the thing that I think has been missing without having as many women on the stage. That feeling of being able to relate and to say, you know what, maybe I can do this too.
So I'm gonna take a quick second. I'm gonna stop you there, just for a moment, to set the picture for people who are just tuning in. Last year, in 2020, was the first women's conference for e-commerce sellers by Empowery. It was in California right before COVID kind of struck. And I'm going to list some of the speakers just because somebody might have heard of all of these people, some of these people, or none of these people. So I'm going to mention the names. And if you know them, you'll be like, aha, yes, I know that person. They were at the conference. They spoke. So at last year's conference in 2020, which was last year, you had Isabella Hamilton.
Yes.
You had Jess Hill. You had Michelle Barnum-Smith, Cassandra Craven, Joy Packard, Yana Kendrick, Maya Gordon, Fiona Ma, Stormy Simon, Elna Saras, Emma Tamir.
Emma Schumer-Tamir. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Michaela Bellopita Olivera. I can't read right now for some reason. I'm reading these, by the way. Amy Weiss, Regina Petersbergsky.
Yeah, Regina Petersbergsky. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ritu Java. Aaron Taylor, Jin Chon, Christy Verity, and you were also a speaker, Melissa Simonson. So this was just last year's speakers. Now, this year, what's the situation with the speakers this year?
So this year we have, we have this amazing woman. I was just on the phone with her the other day. She gave me energy for days after this one conversation I had with her. She is the inventor of sidewalk chalk, right? So she has these, she has the packaging and the first original samples that she sold to Walmart when Walmart was a nothing. It was not a big deal. It was competing against Kmart, who was the big deal, and they were too big for their britches, and so they weren't selling her stuff. So this is she has been a part of it all. And then she was getting turned down by people for her product, saying that essentially they were going to pay her a salary to run her own business and sell it in their stores and stuff like that, and telling her things like this.
Why
You
would they
don't
say that?
need.
It's her product. She owns the product, right? So
This is a whole different world back then. They would say things to her like, "You don't need the salary. Your husband works." And like, I mean, it's just mind-boggling kind of stuff. But I am just so excited because the energy she brings, like, she just has this audacious energy that she just brings to the whole room. And so and it was translating through the computer when I was talking to her, and it just like geared me up for days. So I can't wait to actually be in the same room with her and have her, do the same thing in person at this live event. She's going to be our first keynote speaker on day one. And so day one is going to be packed full of presentations, slides and stuff like that. And so we're going to have several different speakers. Day two, we're starting with our second keynote speaker, Lillian Roberts. She is amazing. She's the chapter leader in Miami for EO. She's just an all-star, spectacular. So she is going to be leading day two, and then day two is moving into workshops. So day one is really learning. Day two is acting and putting it into practice. So we have workshops from Me Too Java with PPC, Emma Schumer-Tamir for copywriting, where you're actually going to get, some insights into, listen, here's some of the stuff you should be doing on your listing. Here's some of the stuff you should be doing in general. Now let's do it. Let's actually do it.
Right. So from this, I gathered, this is a 2-day event.
Yes.
Day one, we're learning. You're going to hear from these world-class speakers.
Yes.
And day two, there's workshops. You're
Yes.
going to put into practice some of the things that you learned in day one. And there's going to be workbooks and multiple sessions throughout the day that you can choose if you are at the conference. Now, this brings up an interesting point. This conference is being held somewhere.
Yes.
Is there a city, a location for this conference, or is this like totally virtual?
No, so this is actually a hybrid event. So it's being held in Las Vegas. It's the 2 days following Prosper. It's the 16th and 17th of July. And we don't have a venue that we're ready to announce yet. But we're going to keep it as close as we can to Prosper so that it's convenient for the sponsors and the speakers and all of the attendees who are also going to be at Prosper.
Right. So it's in Las Vegas and it's being held virtually.
Yes.
So that means you could be there in person, or if you don't want to go to Las Vegas, possibly by airplane or a train or a car or however else you get to Vegas. You don't want to walk to Vegas. You can also join virtually, right?
Yes.
So I understand you did this before with the virtual tickets for another event. So why don't you tell us about the virtual options? What are they? How does it work? Is it free? Like, talk about that.
Yeah, so essentially you can attend virtually. You get access to the presentations and the workshops. This is honestly, it's priced very low. I think it's $149 for both days. And I gotta say, like, these are some of the same speakers that are being booked for Prosper and some of the other really big events. And you're getting access to workshops that at Prosper and similar events are like $399 each, these workshops, right? It's $399 per workshop. And we're selling the entire 2-day ticket for $149 for you to attend digitally. So for me, it's a no-brainer. And the other thing that you're getting with this is not just like the presentations, but you also get group discussions with your peers. So it's something you do want to attend live. It's not something you want to try and watch back later. And we're not providing access to it later for digital attendees. It's something that you attend, you set aside your day for, you plan to be on camera and on mic, and then you split into groups, right? So you have, your discussions, you listen to the presentations, then you have group discussions, you come out and talk about what you learned, what you discussed, key takeaways, you go to the next deal. So part of this is going to be the networking component for you guys who are not able to do that at Prosper and at our event live.
Is there a competition between you and Prosper?
No, we're working together.
Everything you've told me so far sounds like the Empowery Women e-commerce conference is better than Prosper, and it costs less money, and you get more access, and it can be virtual or in person. We
very supportive of Prosper, and we're certainly working together. We're going to be, we have a table at Prosper. We are very excited to be, at Prosper and to have their help and to be helping them market their event as well. So, no question, we absolutely support Prosper. It's one of the most successful, concentrated events that has high level content. I feel like there's always value that is found at Prosper. So no question, you're going to find your peers and stuff like that. I will say, I don't know that I've heard about them streaming anything. And so I think for especially people who are going to be attending digitally, this really is a fantastic option if you can't attend Prosper.
People don't have to choose. They're not happening at the same time, right? So
no, it's the 2 days following.
I'm going to put out a possible scenario, which if you're watching live, you may want to think about this. You could very well go to the Prosper conference, which is happening in Las Vegas at the Westgate, and you could attend all of Prosper, which is a 3-day event. Mm-hmm. It happens on July the 13th, 14th, and 15th this year, which is less than a month from now.
Yes.
And then immediately following that, you could continue to stay in the same city, which is Las Vegas. And then immediately the next day, right after Prosper, you could participate in the Empowery Women e-commerce conference, even if you're a man, right?
Yes.
Men and women participate. So everybody's welcome.
Yes.
And
no question. Men and women alike can get valuable content that's applicable to their business and things they can take away and apply right then and there from our conference, whether you're a man or a woman.
Okay. So somebody should maybe go to Prosper and then immediately go to the Empowery Women e-commerce conference. And that way you're in the same place. You can network 5 days straight. And if you only want to be there for 5 days, no problem. You'll be at both conferences back to back.
Right.
In terms of if you don't want to go to Vegas, but you still want to participate and network with people, this was going to be recorded, so you can always rewind and rewatch what we just talked about. But I want to summarize because people are coming in and out. This is live. There's comments. We'll get into the comments in a minute here. Essentially, there's a virtual access ticket, which is only $149 US, and it gives you 2-day access, which is live, interactive, and real time, and includes the workshops. And I understand it also includes access to the swag bags if you live in the continental USA.
Yes. That 149 does include that. Now it's not going to be guaranteed to arrive beforehand for people who, if they are not buying their tickets before the 1st of July, then they are not likely to receive their package before the event. So that's one thing they'll want to keep in mind is, buy your tickets now.
What if they registered last week? Well, do you think they'll get the swag bag?
Yes. If they register, we're still sending them all at the same time. So we're not jumping.
They're going to get it though, right?
What's that?
They're still going to get it regardless of when they get it.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So I'm just going to put a little note here for the people watching live that are secret watchers. Virtual ticket includes a swap. That doesn't make any sense. Sorry. I'm so tired right now. Okay. Includes I was typing the word swag bag and then I just ended it, the word. Swag bag. So what's in the bag?
What
is a swag bag?
A swag bag. So, we actually had this idea for Festivus last year. We did it as holiday gifts because it was right around Christmas time and the holidays. And nobody could travel still, so we did an all digital event, but we sent out swag. So normally you go around to these expos and these events and stuff like that, and many of the people who have booths have swag that you can play a game for and earn or win, or they just give away, right? So sometimes it's T-shirts, sometimes it's, a mug or a thermos or something like that. And I think for Festivus, we had Helium 10 provided their awesome water bottles, and PickFu provided mugs with hot chocolate and candy canes, and we wrapped these up individually as presents. We put them in a package. We also had a Festivus ornament. Anyway, so for this year, we still have our sponsors are sending in their stuff. We still have a couple weeks before we start shipping the swag. So you guys still have a little bit of time to get your tickets and be surprised by the awesome stuff that comes your way.
Perfect. All right. Melissa, I understand there's 4 kinds of tickets that are available for this event.
Yes.
So I'm going to go through them, and then you tell me if it's correct or not correct. We're going to play a little game of, did Jacob remember what the ticket types are?
Yes.
So ticket type number 1 is general access.
Yes.
And a general access, I'm also writing all this down. A general access ticket is $399 US, or you could get it for less if you use the code that will be linked in this live stream. Melissa will give you money off. She'll
Yeah.
give you money back. Just like you're an Empowery member, you get money back when you use the vetted vendors. You get money back if you use a special code that's going to be linked to this. So general access ticket is ticket type number 1. It's $399.
So this is an upfront discount that it gives for your people, right?
What does that mean? Does the ticket cost $399? Yes or no?
Yes. So the ticket's $399. I'm just clarifying that the coupon code that you're going to be sharing gives an upfront discount so that they are not confused.
Oh yeah, it's not cash back. Okay, it's an instant discount.
That's right.
I almost have it. Details that matter, right? We're in e-commerce. Details matter quite a lot.
That's right.
Okay. So ticket type number 1 is general access ticket. It's $399.
Yes.
And if you use the code that is posted as part of this thing, it's going to be 15% less.
That is correct.
When you purchase the ticket, which is
When you
instantaneous. Instantaneous discount. We'll talk about that later. All right, next ticket type. There is VIP access. And the VIP access gives you everything the general access ticket gives you, plus some additional items, which I'll let you cover that because that's pretty interesting.
Yes.
And it is $599, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and so I just want to point out the VIP access to this event costs less than all of Prosper.
Yes.
Looks out of interest sake. So tell us, what does the VIP access give you?
So VIP access, this is like, for me, there's no reason not to do this one, honestly. Like even at full price, but you guys, are getting a discount on this.
What does that include?
It includes the videos for the event, so you can watch back later. It includes all of the materials from all of the workshops. So because the workshops are happening at the same time, there are some that you're not going to be able to attend. For VIP people, you get all of the handouts, worksheets, materials, so that you can have access to those workshops as well. You also get access to very swanky dinners each of the nights. So on the 16th and 17th, you have access to the VIP dinner. So this is really an all-day event, and you get free dinners as well. And then VIP and GA access includes lunches. So essentially, your meals are pretty much covered if you are a VIP ticket holder. The other thing that is included is you get access to the pre-event party. So on the 15th, there's sort of a closing out Prosper and welcoming the women's conference event, the Soiree in the Sky at MGM Skylofts, Rich Goldstein, and I know he's co-hosting that with another person as well. And so that's actually open to all of our VIP guests, our speakers, and our sponsors. And so you are able to come there and rub shoulders with and chat with some of the people who are going to be speaking on the stage the next day before you even start the conference.
I'm going to just pause you there for a second. Because, this is a lot of information, right? This is like somebody might be hearing this for the very first time and watching live and giving thumbs up and hearts on Facebook. So the pre-event includes, first of all, the pre-event is available to VIP ticket access holder, right? So if you have the VIP ticket, you get access to the soiree, which is in the Skylofts of the MGM Grand.
Right.
All right. And that is the day before the actual conference starts, which happens to be the night of the end of the Prosper conference, which precedes the Empowery Women e-commerce conference.
Correct.
Okay, good. I just want to clarify, because this is a lot of information.
It is, yeah. And there's just a ton of stuff that's included with the VIP tickets. And so that's, again, for me, there's almost no reason not to do that. It's $5.99 for a VIP ticket, and that includes every single workshop that we do. So all of the ones you're going to be attending live. So there's at least, I think, 4 to 5 that you can actually attend yourself on day 2. And then you also have access to all the worksheets and materials and videos and everything that we do for the workshops after the fact, so you can still do that. So there's, again, $5.99, even if it was just for day 2, that would pay for it for me. But then if you think about the cost of food, cost of the venue, VIP tickets with the dinners and everything, really these tickets are barely covering the cost of what we're providing. And that's how we want it to be. We want you guys to get here. We want you to enjoy yourself. We want you to learn it. We want you to walk away feeling like you got so much value for what you paid out.
And a swag bag.
And a swag bag. That's right. You get a swag bag for a VIP ticket holder.
You get a VIP swag bag? Is it a different swag bag?
This is different than the one that goes out to the digital attendees. Yes.
Okay.
The VIP swag bag it's a little more. It's a little upper tier. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I tried to summarize it. I did my best. I put a little banner. You can see the banner, right?
Yes.
So the VIP ticket gets you access to the soiree. So VIPs will be at the soiree in this MGM Grand Skylofts.
Yes.
Just for if you don't know what these are like totally decked out rooms at the very top. They're like penthouse suites at the MGM Grand in downtown Las Vegas on the Strip. You get 2 nights of VIP dinners, which not only do they include the food part, which have, VIP dinners, but it also includes all the people that are there. That's the reason you're going to this thing is for networking, okay? So if you're not sure about, like, why do I care about dinners, it's because of the people at the dinner. That's why you go. So you're going to have the VIP access, which includes all the speakers, hopefully. It includes all of the vendors, because they probably sponsor your event, pay for things, and all the other VIP ticket holders, which are probably people just like you, right? If you want to go and network with people, so do they, and you're paying extra to get access to that.
That's right.
Plus, you get all the videos, which include the videos of the speakers from day 1, which remember is learning, and all of the workshops from day 2. And because some workshops will happen simultaneously, you can't be in 2 places at once, as far as we know. So you'll get access to maybe the workshops that you're at and the one that was happening simultaneous to the one that you're at. So you get access to all the content, plus not just the content on the video, you get access to the workshop material that was included as part of that day 2 workshop. All of that's on recorded videos, so you can like pause and replay and whatnot. For both days, so day 1 and day 2, all that. Plus, day 1 and 2, already the GA ticket includes lunches, so you get all that with the VIP ticket. Plus, you get access to the VIP swag bags, right? Did I miss anything there? That covers the VIP tickets.
I think that's it. I feel like
you have 4 meals and access to a special event all day, both days, and videos and workshops and the materials and the swag bag.
Yes.
And the price difference between the VIP ticket and the general admission ticket, so all the extra stuff that you get, is $200. So for $200, you get 2 VIP dinners, access to the soiree, VIP swag bag, and the recorded videos.
Right. Yep, that's exactly right.
So that's the obvious choice.
It really is. I don't know. Okay. I can't think of a single reason to do any other ticket but the VIP ticket, honestly.
Yeah, I'm going to get the VIP ticket. So that's what I'm doing. I encourage you to do that too if you're watching this video. If you're not watching this video, you can't hear me because you're not watching the video. All right, the videos themselves, let's say somebody says, screw that. I don't want to be real time. I don't want to be interactive. I don't want to be at the workshops myself. And I don't want a swag bag. In fact, I don't want to go to Vegas. I want to do 0 networking. But man, I want to learn that content. So I will just, maybe I'm on vacation and I'd rather just watch the content when I get back from vacation. So you can get the videos, which are going to be recorded. It includes all of the speakers and all of the workshops. And the videos will be edited, right? So they'll be like professional videos.
Yes.
And they cost $199.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, that's correct.
And anything else that we need to mention about the videos?
I don't think so. I think that's pretty cut and dry. One thing that I will mention is, again, this underscores one of the reasons to get a VIP ticket because it includes the videos. So if anyone is thinking like, oh, GA is probably good, but I do want to be able to watch some of the stuff back or get access to the other workshops. So maybe I'll buy the videos. If you add the $199 to your GA ticket, you're already at the same price as a VIP. So you might as well get some dinners out of it and stuff too, right?
If somebody gets a VIP ticket and then they accidentally sign up for the videos, you're just going to refund that video part?
Say that one more time.
Say they get a VIP access, right?
Yes.
Which includes the videos? And then by accident, they also buy the videos at checkout just by accident?
Sure, yeah.
It already includes that, right? So you're just going to refund that part?
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, listen. If you want to review the content that you were learning for 2 days because maybe you were, I don't know, tired from networking all night, or maybe you were missing one of the sessions because you were in the other session, or any of those reasons, then you might want to get the videos. If you have the VIP ticket, you get all the videos already. So don't buy the VIP ticket and something else. The VIP ticket's like everything. The VIP ticket is like general admission, and the videos.
Yep, that's right. And yeah, all the workshops, everything. Yeah.
Everything. Okay, so did somebody just ring your doorbell?
Don't worry about it. It's my alarm system. Every time one of the back doors gets opened.
All right. Security system just went off. Somebody's robbing your house. No problem.
Don't
Nothing
worry,
will stop this.
Smile on.
Okay. All right. We should point out today's Father's Day. So happy Father's Day for all the people. Day. And also, Melissa's been gone at the park all day, and so she just got back in. So you may be tired from that. And I was eating vegetables and swimming all day, as I normally do every day. So I'm also tired out. So there's 4 options. There's a general admission, there's a VIP ticket, there's the virtual access, and there's the videos only.
Yes.
So those are your 4 options to access the content and all this stuff.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm just really excited. I can't tell you guys enough. Like, so last year, our keynote speaker was Stormy Simon. She was the CEO of Overstock.com. She started as an intern. She worked her way up to the CEO level. And she, was amazing.
The CEO of Overstock?
Yes. That was our keynote speaker last year. The keynote speaker, we have one keynote for each of the days, both spectacular businesswomen who have been at this for 30 plus 40 50 years. I think in the case of Marsha Reese, who invented Sidewalk Chalk, the businesses that she's talking about, some of these things, she was doing this back in the 70s and figuring things out and just being audacious enough to go against the grain and against what was going on at that time, what was the norm at that time, and who was allowed to be in business and do business for themselves at that time. And then I think she even sold that business in the 90s, right? So then now she's an Amazon seller, and now so there's so many reasons to be part of this conference, but I just really encourage you guys to take a look at some of the information that we have posted on our website and the event site for this stuff, because we really take great care to not only give you guys some familiar faces who you feel comfortable that you're going to learn something and have some key takeaways from, but also to give you new faces that you are going to learn from, network from, and these are people who can help put you in touch with people you need to know, people you can partner with, people who can help you be successful. This kind of networking you cannot duplicate. And some of these people, these speakers, are not going to be at the other events, right? So it's important to take advantage of that. I can't stress that enough.
There's 2 different events we're talking about. So one is Prosper, and one is the Empowery Women e-commerce conference.
Right. Yes.
All right. So Melissa, we know that it's 2 days. We know that day 1 is speakers, day 2 is workshops. So we haven't said anything about what kind of topics do you think the speakers are going to talk about. And this is all on the website, so we'll give you the access to the website too. It's free.
Yes.
We'll read it. So tell us about some of the topics that the speakers will speak about on day 1.
So we're going to have sort of a mix of different topics on day 1. So we're going to have presenters who are talking, we're going to have some mindset. We're going to have some very specific about copywriting, about PPC. And some of it is going to be in broad strokes, what you need to be doing for your business. But one of the things that we wanted to make sure that we were doing last year and that we're keeping as a theme this year is, even though these are not really, really long presentations, we start with the person's story, right? I want to know how this woman came to be on this stage. When I see a woman on the stage, I want to not only know how she got there, but I want to know that I can get there too. And usually when I know the how of her story, then I feel like it can become my history too. And so we asked them to share a little bit of their story. And what's beautiful about this is some of these women you have met, some of them you haven't met, but either way, you're going to hear stuff about them that you have not heard before. And it's going to help motivate you and empower you to be successful. Sorry.
The doorbell.
I'm so sorry.
Got a busy house over there. Okay.
I blame the dog.
I love the sound of the doorbell, by the way. I don't know if other people like that or not. I think it's fun. Okay, so day 1, the topics are going to be both a combination of mindset and learning, and you're going to have some world-class speakers. We haven't mentioned who they are yet, other than the former CEO of Sidewalk Chalk, who's the keynote speaker, but we'll go through the speakers, don't worry. I'm trying to kind of summarize these things with my little tabs along the bottom so that, if somebody's kind of grazing through their phone, they can see these things. Yeah. So day 1, mindset and learning. And then day 2 is the workshops, right? So
Yes.
with day 2 workshops can mean a lot of different things to different people. So since you're organizing this, and since you did this last year, you know what the workshops mean. So what
Yeah, so we
are the
actually did
workshops?
not
What
do
does that mean?
workshops last year.
Oh.
And you're right that there's a lot of different ideas of what workshops mean, and at different conferences they mean different things. But at this conference, so on day 1 we have the presentations and learning, and we also have group discussions. So there's going to be roundtable discussions, so that you're again networking and having some peer discussion, so you're learning from each other as well, and not just from sort of a top-down approach. Day 2, what we're doing with the workshops is we're having a short overview of what we're going to be learning. Okay, we're talking about this. Here's some of the things you should be doing. Here's why. And then they're going to teach you how to do that. You're going to have either your laptop open or your worksheet or whatever you're working on out, so that you are doing that and it's applicable to your business. A lot of times we go to these conferences, we walk away with a giant to-do list, or we try and take furious notes like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I need to do that for my business. And you just keep listening and you try and think like, how do I spin that concept that I just learned about into my business? How do I apply that? And so I don't want that to be a question for people. I want them to sit down at this table about this workshop that's applicable to them, something they want to learn or that their business needs, and walk away having done something that is impactful to their business.
So people can bring their laptops and do the things live.
That's 100% true. Yeah.
And I understand some of the workshops have workbooks or some content that accompany them. So you don't just sit there and listen. Beyond that, you do the work. So there's somebody there to maybe help you do it. And then there's also like materials, right? Like workbooks.
Yeah. So there's handouts. It's different for each workshop and for each of the, the speakers who are presenting the information and helping the groups. But these are going to be, again, we're breaking into smaller groups so that there's individual attention that the workshop people can give you. And so each of these workshops is being held twice. So the speaker is able to do 2 workshops. So some of them you'll be able to catch, but there's 3 to 4 workshops going on simultaneously. So you won't be able to catch all of the workshops no matter what. And then
you can catch them live on video.
That's exactly right. That's really the only way to do it, because there's going to be enough happening simultaneously that even though that same speaker is going to do the same workshop back to back, you have to still choose between which ones you want to see. And so there's a saving grace. Like you're like, okay, if you're trying to prioritize which workshop is most important to you, you can still catch some of those, but some you won't be able to. So again, VIP ticket. But that's how it's being organized, so that we can make the most out of this conference. Because again, I think people are going to be coming out of Prosper with a lot of to-do lists, a lot of notes, a lot of things they want to apply to their business, a lot of key takeaways that sometimes you don't know how to translate that into how do I do this for my business. And so I want people to have a day where they say, okay, here's all the goods that I got from this, and it's a lot of good stuff. This is
so much good stuff.
Right.
Is there going to be any bad stuff at the conference?
Any bad stuff?
Yeah, I mean, are people going to be exposed to bad things, or is this going to be a good things conference?
This is a good things conference. Like, listen, this is one of the main things that happened at the last conference that I wanted, but I couldn't have anticipated going so well. I couldn't have anticipated it going so well. I wanted to set the stage there for it to be a little bit different than other events. It's a little smaller. It's more intimate. People going there want, to have that sense of community and of connectedness and includedness, right? They want to be included. We don't want people to feel excluded or left out. It's very important. And so when I started the conference last year, the very first words that I spoke were, let's leave pride and some of the other stuff behind and just turn to the person to your right, turn to the person on your left, recognize that they might know something you need to know and you don't know that yet. And you might know something that is of vital importance to them and they don't know it yet. So recognize that there's something that each of you guys have, that you have value in each other, and you just need to learn what it is. And then we just broke the ice with that, and we approached the entire conference that way. And it was a very quick, very easy way for everyone to connect with each other right up front and get past some of the stuff. I feel like we spend a lot of time at some of the conferences proving that we belong there, kind of giving people our credentials. And I said, let's skip past.
So I want to touch on that for a minute. So
sure.
People that sell things online. Let's call them online sellers, e-retailers, people that make listings, people that run their companies, that run businesses. They make a living off of selling things on the internet, okay?
Right.
Tell people that are listening, you are not alone in feeling like maybe you're alone because you're at home, typically. Some people have like a little office or a warehouse that they have employees, things. But when you go to a conference, you're dealing with people that are also online sellers, right?
Yes.
And you're going to be able to have real-time interactions with them, whether it's through a virtual ticket where you have like actual real-time interactions with people that are, it's live, you're just not there.
Yeah.
Or whether you're in the room where you're like physically in the same place and you can talk and interact with people, right?
Right.
So I think the industry that we're in can be isolating. And by going to conferences and participating, you're not alone in that. Other people are feeling the same way. And so you can connect with people and you can discuss real issues and real problems. You can actually solve some of the problems that you may be having in your business. Or it's very likely that you're doing well in your business and you can learn additional things that can help accelerate the goals of your business, right? So some people would like to sell more products. Some people, they don't want to sell more products because they're busy enough. They would like to just sell the same amount, but maybe they want to be more profitable, right? Other people, they're overloaded with demand and they're focused on fulfillment or getting sourcing product or different things like that. Mm-hmm. Other people don't have any demand, right? Maybe they got sitting on tons of product. They just want to try and move it, right? So as online retailers, we all have different issues that we're potentially trying to work through and solve. Some of them are known issues and some of them are yet to be discovered issues, right? Because as your business grows and changes, you're going to have different things that you will need problems to solve, right? So I think when we're talking about good things at the conference, we're talking about the ability to connect with people on a real level, solve problems. The day 2 workshops, I think people will really enjoy. Right?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. It's something we haven't done before and something I'm very, very excited about. And I mean, just to underscore what you're talking about with the conferences and that feeling of being alone and stuff like that. I think the other thing is you don't know what you don't know, right? And you don't learn what that is until somebody else tells you something that you didn't know. And so once you kind of get that information, you're like, oh my gosh, it blows your mind. All of a sudden, a whole new door is open. I had this conversation with somebody the other day where she told me about this tool. And it's like, for her, she was just like, yeah, it's a cool thing that I use. And I was like, this could change everything. Like it just blew my mind. And without that conversation for her, it was a 20-second piece of something larger and more important to her. That 20 seconds to me was like, this is a game changer for everything that I'm doing every day.
Is this something you can share with us? It's a quick tip.
Yeah, it was, the app itself is something that combines all of the text messages. So the ones, like all of the things that you get in WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger and LinkedIn Messenger, like all of the places where you have to track like the conversations and then you feel like really bad because you don't get back to some people because you never get into your Instagram messages or something like that. All of that gets taken.
Pause, hold on. Paul Barron. Check your Facebook.
Yeah,
Messenger.
Right.
Okay, sorry, continue. I just wanted to give Paul a shout out because I understand he hasn't seen my messages yet. But so there's a tool where you can combine all your messages.
Yeah. So that was what she was telling me about the other day, and so I took some notes. Obviously, I've been working on the women's conference, so I haven't been able to implement that. But I was like, if that's actually something I can do on my computer, that would change my life. Yeah. So I mean,
you do that, right? It's a desktop app?
Say again?
It's a desktop app?
I don't know. Again, I've been furiously working, as you can see now, on the weekend and stuff like that on the women's conference. So I have not been able to implement this. But again, this is something that like you learn this little piece of information. And then sometimes you're so busy, you don't have time to implement, which is why we're building in an implementation day into our conference, because sometimes you get these nuggets of information, whether it's from a peer at a conference, from a speaker that you're listening to, or just a hallway conversation, right? And you want to implement all of these things. You want to remember all these things, right? And so again, I think it makes the most sense to get a VIP ticket because your notes are sort of built in. You get all the worksheets, all the workshops, you get everything included plus the video. So you can rewatch anything that you feel like you might have missed or that it tickles your memory of something that you wanted to get back to.
Ticklish memory. That's a
yeah.
All right. on the piece around networking, I'm going to do something with the technology here now
All right.
that some people it'll blow their mind. Other people will be like, Jacob, this is obvious. You can network with other people. So Megla, right? She's networking with us right now. We're not even at the conference yet. She says, "Hi, Jacob and Melissa. Looking forward to the Empowery Women's Conference." So Megla, if you don't know Megla, she lives in Singapore. I think that's public information, right? She's from India. She lives in Singapore. She is going to be one of the speakers and/or workshop people. Yes. But she's going to be doing that virtually, right?
Yes. Yeah. So she is not able to travel yet, but she is going to be able to be joining us virtually. So she's going to be part of the hybrid event on the digital side of things.
All right. And then another example, networking.
Rana!
Says, yo! Yeah, okay, so.
In Miami.
Yeah, so, all right. If you're not familiar with Rana, guys, he's a bit of a celebrity. Obviously, he's from Canada. And you guys met in Miami.
Yes.
No secret there. So he says yo, or yo. That's the way he said it.
Rana, it's so good to see you.
All right. So when you go to this conference, there's a high probability that you might meet some new people that you have not met before, right?
That is correct. Yes.
And you might connect with people that you have met before, right?
Yeah, definitely. There's many of the speakers are familiar faces as experts in e-commerce and who have been speakers at some of the other larger events as well. And some, like the workshop people. So we try and make a point of having different speakers every year. However, some of the workshops that we're doing are being held by some of our previous speakers. So the workshops are a little bit different because we're doing that sort of, on a smaller group basis. And so we're doing the presentations, totally different speakers, workshops, some repeat speakers and some new.
Some repeat speakers and some new.
Yeah, for the workshops.
So I summarize that with meet new people, reconnect with others.
Yes, definitely.
Right? So you're probably going to know some people if you go, and if not, you'll meet new people. Because
well, and what's really fun about this too is if you haven't been to a lot of events, then these are some people that will be familiar faces to you on Facebook. Like I remember when I first started going to some of these events and I had been chatting with some of these people on Facebook and I felt like I knew them, but I never actually met them. And then I started going to these events and I'm like shaking hands with some of these people and hugging them. And I all of a sudden, like this was real life instead of like living through my computer. So it's really a beautiful thing when you can do that. And especially, being able to attend some of the parties and chat, and just be like on a personal basis. I was able to do that with Rana in Miami, just last month. And that was amazing because we met through Clubhouse. We've chatted on Facebook, but we really haven't had a chance to connect on a personal level until we were face to face and, cheersing each other over a pool bar, right?
All right.
So it's a totally different.
Hold on. This just in for my producer. I understand there was another event called Miami where Rana was featured and there were some drinks. So let's be honest. A number of online sellers went to Miami to an event that you could not buy tickets to, and you guys chatted. What are you talking about, Melissa? Like, what happened in Miami? Why was I not invited?
This was not.
I'm just kidding. Tell me about. Let's get serious. What happened in Miami? You guys got together. You networked.
Yeah.
You met people
what
from
really
around
happened?
the planet. Everybody flew into Miami, right?
So what actually happened with Miami was that I'm sorry, my dog is breathing so loud right now. What actually happened was last year at the women's conference, we, like many of us women, became very, very close. And then especially with COVID hitting right after and quarantine following the women's conference where we all were just, again, it's a different kind of event. It was inclusive. It was open. We were, sharing, and it was very, very different that way. So we became very close very quickly at that event. And then we started having regular ladies' nights on Fridays digitally because of COVID. So then we were keeping these relationships going in a way that we had never done before for other events. So then we're just like, things, the restrictions are getting lifted. We all need to get together. And Amy, we actually started kind of herding the cats a little bit and saying, okay, if we're going to do this, what about doing it around this time? And so she gave people like a voting poll in Facebook Messenger group. And then she said, what about it like this location? And so again, we voted, and it was very non-committal until everyone was like, okay, that's my ticket.
Voted? What is voting? What happened to the voting? What are you talking about voting?
So again, many of these women were ones that we met at the previous Empowery Women's Conference in 2020. Yeah. So then we were chatting. We're like, we all need to get together. Wouldn't that be fun? Amy Weiss, yes, professional cat herder, and also cat lady. She's definitely a self-proclaimed cat lady. Anyway, so she kind of got us all together and said, listen, let's do it in Miami. Let's do it at this hotel. Let's do it on these dates. And we all were able to get together because she did a really good job organizing. So that was really fun. And then when we were posting this, we were getting all excited about it. We were going to be like renting a yacht and stuff like that. Then,
whoa, you're renting yachts now? What's going on? You rented a yacht?
It was spectacular, man. I never would have thought to do that. That was like Isabella. No, it was Yana Krekic's idea. And Isabella found a way to make it all happen. And McLean Warren helped organize it. So there was just a ton of really cool people that were there that helped make it happen. And then one of the final days, we decided, we'll, instead of this being like a ladies retreat as a sort of a holdover from the previous women's conference, let's open it up. And some of the guys who are in the Miami area joined us. And then that Saturday, we kind of did a combined event where we were speaking on a panel for Carlos Alvarez's Wizards of Ecommerce event.
Okay. So that was just a spontaneous yacht rental in Miami that just happened because you were networking.
Yeah, we missed each other, essentially. Again, we got very close because of the last conference. And this is what I mean when I say that, it went better than I ever could have expected, right?
Yep.
The inclusiveness and the energy I was trying to help people give to each other and that I was trying to help put out there myself, it translated even better than I could have expected. And this, I believe, was part of the result of that, having these really awesome relationships that are deeper and more meaningful than I've ever formed at any other event, right?
Yep. So let's take a moment to recognize some of the speakers at this year's event, because even though we went through some names from last year's, there were this year's as well.
Yes.
So I'm going to scroll through this, and people can see the screen, I believe, live. So if you have any questions, ask them. Melissa's going to talk a little bit about these speakers that are key speakers.
Yep.
And enjoy. So if I scroll like this, I can't see both screens at the same time. So can you see this?
Yeah, I can see it all. So I'll be mostly.
So we got Melissa. That's you.
Yeah.
Right. We already talked about you.
Yeah.
So now
I'll be emceeing speakers. Lillian Roberts is going to be the keynote for day 2, as she's going to open the day. She is very knowledgeable. She is the CEO of Zendu. She is spectacular. So she's going to be helping people get motivated. Marsha Reese is going to be keynote on day 1. So she's going to be really about mindset. And again, this woman is just audacious. Like, she just gets stuff done, and she does not worry about what society says should be happening or what she's allowed to do. She's one of those, like, what is that saying about well-behaved women seldom make history? She is not a well-behaved woman. She's like, I just get stuff done. I make history, right?
Yeah, so she's a doer.
Yeah, she is fantastic. She's a joy.
And she's also a #1 best-selling author.
Yes, yeah. She's got a lot going for her. And I can't say enough good things about her. I'm just very excited to have both her and Lillian as our keynote speakers for day 1 and day 2.
Yes.
Zara, also amazing. She's going to be teaching about branding. So that's one of the presentations. This is a topic that comes up so often, especially like recently on Clubhouse and stuff like that. People they want to know, how do we do branding well? And it's such a broad topic that you could parse out in so many different ways. She's going to give us some specifics on what people should be doing as some baselines and some tactical advice.
Yes, so she's a brand author, and she's going to be talking about branding.
Yep, that's right.
Very, very good. We have Yael Kabili.
Yep. So Yael is going to be talking to us about, some patent things, and I can't remember exactly her topic, but she's going to be talking about her Kabili & Co. side of things, so trademarks and suspensions, that side of her business. And her partner, actually, who's listed a little bit further down, she's going to be doing a workshop the next day on exits. So, Yael,
she's an attorney, so she's like a lawyer, right?
Yes, yeah, she's a lawyer. And
right.
so
There's
she's
a lot of people here. Let's move along. So we got Yael. She's a lawyer. She's going to talk about trademarks.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, not
like that,
yeah, right. Trademarks and Amazon suspensions and the legal side of things where that can lead. Amy Weiss is one of our co-hosts. She's going to be helping keep track of the digital side of things and make sure that things are moving along and that people are networking and getting on well digitally. Destiny Wishon is going to be one of our speakers on day one. She's going to be talking about her area of expertise, PPC, and some of the stuff that she does well there. Okay. Karen Thomas is going to be talking about keywords, and many people know her as the brand ambassador for Helium 10. So she's going to be speaking to her strengths as a previous Amazon seller, and obviously expert at Helium 10 and keywords.
So hold on. If somebody's not familiar with Helium 10, that is a software product that allows Amazon sellers to get some additional data access that helps them make decisions and build better listings, right? Yeah,
that's exactly right. It makes sure that you are listing your stuff correctly, because if you don't have your keywords right, nobody's going to be able to find you.
Okay. And then we got Emma Tamir.
Yep. Emma Shimmer-Tamir is she is a copywriting magician. She is amazing, and she's going to be running one of the workshops on day 2. She was one of the speakers last year, and she is constantly on our Clubhouse, on our calls. She is an expert we draw on often, and one of our strategic partners as well, because she's just so knowledgeable about copy.
Okay.
Mayam Gordon. She is also a co-host on the digital side of things. So she's going to be going around and making sure that everybody knows, what's going on live. And so people are going to feel like they're a little bit part of the action, right? So she's going to be letting people check out what's going on in the world of the live event. She's also going to be doing a workshop on LinkedIn networking and making sure that you are maximizing your impact on that social networking platform, which is, I think...
also a TikTok superstar. It says here 2.3 million followers on TikTok.
Yes. Yeah, and I think over like 10 million views or something totally nuts. Like, yeah, she's
well,
superstar.
Let's not talk about 10 million. Your website says 800 million. That's almost a billion.
There you go.
That's almost a billion.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
We're talking like Gangnam style popularity here. That's very interesting. So she will be there, and you can meet her. How about Isabella?
Yes, Isabella is going to be on day 1. She's going to be doing a presentation on mindset. Very excited about that. And I mean, a lot of people know who Isabella is, but she is one of the most amazing motivational speakers that I've heard. So I'm very
never met Isabella.
Oh, you're going to get to meet her. That's very exciting.
I've not even done a live with her. I've done a live stream with like hundreds of sellers, and not Isabella yet. So
you're going to love her.
I know nothing about her. I know she's the CEO of RankBell. And I know she's in everybody's conference pictures because people take a lot of pictures, and I look at them all. But I've never met her, so who is she?
Isabella's from Romania. When she spoke last year, she talked about like how she decided to come to the States, and the impact that had on her and her ambitions and her drive and stuff like that, and how she built what she has now. It's very, very motivating, and it's very easy to listen to her story and walk away feeling like, I could do that. If she can do that, I can do that, right? So very, very motivational speaker.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. How about Ritu?
Ritu is a PPC expert. She's the CEO of PPC Ninja. She's going to be hosting one of the workshops on day 2 on PPC. So some of the stuff, this is on Amazon and off Amazon PPC. So if you guys are struggling with any of that, or you don't know what it is, or you want someone else to handle it, but you need a basic understanding so that you can direct your team better and know that they're charging you appropriately, right? Then this is the right workshop for you. Okay. I don't really like PPC to do myself. I like other people to do that kind of stuff. So this, again, to me is one where I want to know like the basic understanding. What do I need to know? What can I do myself? And what should I be designating to somebody else?
Even if you have somebody else doing it on your behalf, they may need some guidance as to what you want them to do, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And you need to have a basic understanding to be able to direct them well.
Okay, how about Megla? Now, I met Megla, the first time I met Megla was in London, England, when I was speaking at the White Label Global Expo.
Yes.
She was there, when we met. So she's fabulous. So
Yeah,
tell us about Megla.
Megla is amazing. She has an India sourcing trip that she does. Obviously, she hasn't been able to do that. She wasn't able to do that last year. She is also host of the podcast, The Asian Seller. She is amazing. She's so knowledgeable. And she just like, if you get a chance, listen to her podcast because it is so informative, like in so many different ways. And she really finds extremely beneficial guests who can help you learn stuff that you didn't know that you didn't know. See, like we were talking about earlier.
We were talking about it. Yep.
Yeah. So then Chelsea Cohen. Chelsea Cohen is the co-founder of SoStocked. SoStocked is like an inventory software that helps you keep track of when you need to be reordering and stuff like that. It's a very common issue that gets brought up right now of like, when do we need to be redoing our inventory? When should we be ordering? These like the dates and stuff that you need to know for that kind of timeline. A lot of sellers don't know. And if you get this one thing wrong, everything else can go wrong. There is a lot of areas in your business where, you know, you get this right, you still need to get this, and this right for everything to be looking great. But there is one area where you can go wrong and everything else is affected, and that's logistics.
Did you know the first time that I met Chelsea, she was speaking about optimizing listings for Amazon, and we were both speaking at a conference in Texas with Joy Packard. So I was talking about print on demand, and she was talking about optimizing Amazon listings. So she's really fantastic. I've met her in person, and she's great. Yeah,
I'm very excited. I actually have not had a chance to meet her in person, so I'm very excited for the women's conference to get to meet her.
She's really smart.
Yeah. Very excited to have her.
All these people are really smart. I met half of them, and there's geniuses. So if you're not going to this conference, you're making the wrong choice. You need to go. All right, Melanie.
Melanie is one of my favorite people. We just like text each other random stuff to make each other's day because she's just an awesome person. She's one of the people that when you meet, aside from like her very extensive knowledge base, right? She is one of the most important people you can meet who is connected with so many people in e-commerce. Like Avask is the choice from Amazon, the choice from Thrasio for their exits and stuff like that. Like it's incredible the amount of stuff that she is knowledgeable in and in charge of it. She's also an author. So she's just awesome in general, professionally.
I'm gonna pause you there because you're like super professional, knowledgeable, and you know all this stuff already. But for people who are just listening in, Avask is an accounting firm based in the UK. So that's a key piece of information.
Yeah.
So Melanie is a firm. She's one of the owners, right, of Avask.
She's a tax director. Yeah. So she's a big deal over there. And the thing that they are known for really well is they were Amazon's choice for VAT registration when people were trying to expand into the EU. And so that's a big deal to be Amazon's choice, right? They're also a strategic partner of Empowery. So that's Avask. But Melanie, just again, professionally, very impressive. As a human, she's just somebody you want to be around. So again, a beautiful opportunity to rub shoulders. And we're hoping, like we're crossing our fingers and our toes that she's going to be able to make it over here. We'll see. The UK is still being a little weird about passports. The US with UK
United States is being weird about foreign passports.
Yes.
Okay, so no, that's okay.
And then
hold on. Melanie, you and I and Melanie were all at the same table in Las Vegas in 2020. Yes. And that's the first time I met both of you. I didn't know either. You guys obviously already knew each other because you're getting along great. And you're both fantastic. You're fantastic and she's fantastic. And then I showed up out of nowhere and we all met each other. But that was the first time we all met.
That was the week after the women's conference. So that's why we were getting on so well. We had just met the week before that at the women's conference. We had been talking before then a little bit, and then we met up at the women's conference. They were one of the sponsors for that. And then the next week was White Label Expo in Las Vegas, right? So then we were at that dinner together. And so that's how quickly we got to know each other from the women's conference. It was just the previous week.
Hashtag conferences work. Okay.
That's right.
Mikal, is it Mikal?
Yeah, Mikal Oran. So she is the partner of Yael Kabili, and she is the co-founder and CEO of Fortunette. And she's going to be doing a workshop on day 2 for exits. So there you go. And we have another.
Somebody doesn't know what exits means. We're not talking about where is the door to the outdoors. We're talking about selling your business, right?
Right.
Okay. Just want to clarify.
That is
But not everybody knows what exits are, right? We're not all like super professionals like Melissa.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Mergers and acquisitions, joint ventures, public offerings, United States and Israel. She's also an LLB, so she's like a lawyer as well, right?
Yes, right.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It's just you said she's an exits expert. I'm like, yes, she has been designing safety and exit signs for years to help you escape from hotels and conferences and homes. If you want to leave the building, exits. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about selling.
I think that there's a lot of uncertainty when it comes to exiting your business, and some people, frankly, they just don't want to think about it. Like they are just like out of sight, out of mind. I don't have to worry about that yet. But if you're not planning for your eventual exit, there's things that you're maybe not doing the way you should be right now in your business. And so she's going to talk about what some of those things are. She's going to tell you how you can be, taking a look at those and running your business in a way that will help you eventually exit or do whatever it is, whatever your eventual end goal is for your business. If it's to pass it to your kids, if it's to, reduce your hours, but still maintain ownership, whatever that is, she's going to help you see what you need to do for your business to be on the right path and not be, doing what somebody else is doing, and they might be on a totally different path with a totally different end goal for their business.
Absolutely. All right, Melissa, it says TBA. So let me just ask you this quick. Is there any speakers that we did not just cover that have TBA'd? Any special information you want to give us there?
I cannot, but watch the website in the next couple of days. We do have those speakers selected. We just haven't announced them yet, and they are wonderful additions. I believe both are day one presenters, not workshoppers. So they are both going to have some really awesome topics, and we will.
Hold on. You're not just saying like there's some space. You're saying there's like some secret speakers that we don't know about.
Yes, yeah, we have the speakers.
You should put that on. I thought that was like a placeholder because there's like one line at the bottom. You're talking about secret speakers. You should say we have two other secret speakers that we don't even know who they are, and they're still coming.
Yes, yeah. So we have two secret speakers, but we will update the website. You'll know the information in advance. You're not going to show up and be like, "Woo!" It's just information that we are going to be publishing soon, but have not published yet, just like the venue.
All right, so to be announced. That's what TBA means. For the acronym people or whatever, TBA in this case means to be announced. All right, now you also have sponsors, and sponsors are an important part of every conference because they not only do they help support the conference financially, but they also usually have some material, and word has it they are involved in the swag bag. So let's talk about the sponsors. We have Goldstein Patent Law. Tell us about that.
Goldstein Patent Law. So a lot of people know who Rich Goldstein is. He's, his face is familiar in this space. He's a really amazing guy, always very, very supportive of Empowery in general, and especially the Empowery Women's Conference. He had a booth last year. He's going to be representing himself and his business again this year. And he is also hosting the Soiree in the Sky and allowing all of our VIPs, speakers, and sponsors to attend. So very
the Soiree in the Sky is at the MGM Skylofts. And if you've not been in the Skylofts at MGM in the Vegas Strip, it's quite something. So you should definitely, I'm definitely getting a VIP ticket because I understand the value of it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people talk about like, this has like $300,000 value, but you can get it for $99 today. Like that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about $200, and it gets you the soiree access at the Skylofts, MGM Grand, in downtown Vegas for the whole night to basically network with these VIPs.
Yes.
It also gets you the 2 VIP dinners. This is in addition to everything else you get. It also gets you the swag bag VIP edition, and it gets you the recorded sessions of everything, which by itself is already $200. So if you're going to get that, it's basically throw it in there.
Right.
And then it also gets you VIP access to the VIP people at both dinners and the soiree. Like, it's a very good value. But anyways, we're not talking about that right now. We talked about that already. Okay, I don't even know. This looks like a funny looking @ symbol. What is this?
This is Elevate Brands. So Elevate is an aggregator in the space. That's a company that does exits, right? So there's companies who buy Amazon brands. This is one of those companies. They're very supportive of women in e-commerce, and very excited to have them represented at the Women's Conference. We also have Raffles and Schick again, they were huge supporters last year and are going to be representing themselves again at the Women's Conference and showing their huge support of women in e-commerce. Very, very much appreciate them every year. And you know what? They actually were instrumental in having Fiona Ma at last year's conference as one of the speakers. Fiona Ma is, at that time, she was and I don't know if this is still true or not. I haven't checked to see if this has been updated or not, but she was the treasurer for California State. When
the state of California.
That is correct. And so at that time, especially, a lot of people had it on their minds about the state sales tax, and that's what she was addressing at the conference. So we actually had the California state treasurer speaking about the state sales tax issue in California, which is where it was being litigated. And
Melissa, it doesn't get more exclusive than that.
I know.
Right?
I know. So yeah, so Raffles and Chick, another amazing company who is helping us. I'm going to try and go briefer on this because I know that people are going to be wanting to head out here. But we've got So Stocked, right, with Chelsea Cohen, amazing company, amazing at home. We have that is Amy Weiss. She does consulting. She is an amazing Amazon seller, and she helps people be successful and be amazing from home, right?
That's her company.
That's her company.
Yeah, she is not. She's probably also an amazing person at home.
Yes.
But amazing at home in this context is Amy Weiss's company.
That is correct.
Okay.
We also have Getita. So a lot of you guys know Yoni Mazur.
Yes.
He's a really amazing guy. He has an awesome podcast. And he is showing his support of women in e-commerce in a big way this year. And so many of you guys know Robbie Stanley. I'm sorry.
No, there's so many people.
Yeah, so he's going to be there representing Getita, I believe. So that's going to be really fun for people. He's going to be helping me set up and everything. He's a really good friend. So he's going to be there representing Getita. So a big thank you again to them. Centurion League, Private Label Legion. This is a co-owned sort of thing with Tim Jordan and Norm Farrar. And it's
Stop. Hold on. Tim Jordan.
Yes.
He's pretty famous already, but
yes.
Also Norm Farrar.
Yes.
The Canadian?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to.
Who was at the last conference to show his support of women in e-commerce as well.
Excellent.
Yes. So, so that's their company. They are a huge supporter of women in e-commerce. Again, made a special trip last year to make sure that that he could be there just to cheer us on and to be there to show that men are allowed to be there and stuff like that. So really very cool. Obviously,
hold on. So what is the Private Label Legion? If people aren't familiar with that,
it's group consulting, Amazon seller. You know, it's like a mastermind that they do, and they have a Facebook group where people can come and ask questions and learn stuff and do peer-to-peer kind of discussions.
Okay, perfect. Empowery is also sponsoring the Empowery.
Right, of course. So
we already talked about Empowery. We skipped that one.
Yes, we did.
Okay,
Avask. Avask is, as we discussed, that's Melanie's company. She is one of the tax directors there, and they are supporting in a huge way this year. They are always supportive of Empowery. I think they have supported every single event that we have asked them to be at. And especially the women's conferences, they support in a huge way. So very, very excited to have Avask joining us again. Okay. Now, last year.
Oh, yeah, last year.
So last year we had Festivus, and we had Sellers Funding, Feedback Wiz, PickFu, and Helium 10, who were big supporters and sponsors of Festivus, kind of bringing people together digitally. And so our digital sponsors are those guys. They're Sellers Funding, Feedback Wiz, PickFu, and Helium 10, who may not be represented there with a booth, but they are supporting the event and supporting women in e-commerce as they did with Festivus as well. Okay,
so you have digital sponsors, and you said that Helium 10 and PickFu were both digital sponsors at Festivus.
Yes.
Now they're sponsoring again this year because
they
support women in e-commerce.
Of
what
course.
About Sellers Funding and Feedback Wiz? Tell us, what are these guys?
Sellers Funding is sort of how you can use your Amazon account history to help get cash flow when you need it. So it's very important, especially like there's a ton of people who really needed that during COVID, and they were able to sustain their business because Sellers Funding worked with people through COVID, where a lot of other companies, even Amazon, were like calling things due. Sellers Funding worked with people, and they have grown, to an incredible degree in a very, very short period of time. And they've sustained their growth, which is very, very hard to do.
I'm going to make a summary comment on that. So if you have additional funding for your e-commerce business, it allows you to leverage money to expand faster and make more profit.
That is correct.
So that's how they can help out, right?
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
Feedback Whiz.
Feedback Whiz, it's a tool that you can use. It does a ton of stuff. I could go into this for 15, 20 minutes actually, but it's one of the tools that I think most people should be using if they are an Amazon seller. So you should check it out. I think we have bit.ly/Empowery Feedback Whiz. You can actually go to and learn more about Feedback Whiz and most of these other companies as well. Actually, if you go to this event site, and you click on any of those logos, it will take you to the page where you can learn more about each of those companies.
They're all hot links. So I tried that while we were here. If I click on it, it opens a new tab.
That's correct.
So I wonder if I can open it without opening a new tab.
You can't. I set it to open a new tab, so it didn't navigate away. I made that page, man.
Let's not forget, Melissa is also a code ninja, just like me. We're both software developers. She made it into new tabs. So I've got so many tabs open for all the sponsors because I was clicking on them while you were talking. Okay, so those are the sponsors. So we talked about the speakers. Again, we got Melissa, Lillian, Marcia, Zahara, Yael, Amy, Destiny, Karen, Emma, Mayan, Isabella, Ritu, Megla, Chelsea, Melanie, Mikhail, and 2 secret speakers, plus all these sponsors, Goldstein, Gatita, this one I forget the name of it,
Elevate.
It looks like this, Elevate, Rasmussen Schick, So Stocked, Amazing at Home, Private Label Legion, featuring super famous Canadian Norm, and Tim Jordan, the People's Choice, and then Empowery, Avast, Seller Funding, Feedback Whiz, PickFu, Helium 10. So like representatives from all these places are, in addition to the speakers, they're all going to be at the VIP events, right?
Not the digital sponsors. The digital sponsors may not have a booth at the live event. The live ones are ones who will have a booth that you can talk to and actually like meet and hang out with a little bit.
No problem. So these ones,
yes,
you'll be able to meet and hang out with. These ones, unknown question mark.
Right.
Okay, just really quickly, it's a 2-day event with 3 days of content.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a 2-day event.
This is so much content. It's really so I think, you know what? People can save time. Just come to the event and experience it, and then you tell us about what it was.
100%.
I'm just kidding. This is for people. Okay, so it's a 2-day event. Day 1 is on the 16th. Day 2 is on the 17th. That's a typo on your website there, but it is the 16th.
I can't see what you're seeing, so I can't.
Oh, sorry. Just let me show you. The first day is on the 16th.
Yeah, I see that.
Is on the 17th. That's okay. Day 1 and 2 are 2 different days.
Yep. So we start with the kickoff party on the 15th. And so that's sort of like we're closing out Prosper. We're welcoming everyone to the women's conference. Day 1, we learn. And day 2, you're right, we need to fix that. It's July 17th. And that is Execute. So that's the hands-on workshops where our speakers will be breaking you into smaller groups so that you can get stuff done.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Yes.
Down here, it says VIPs get in for free to the kickoff party. Again, that's the soiree in the sky under the stars, the MGM Grand Skylofts. If somebody doesn't have a VIP ticket, can they pay to join the kickoff party?
I assume so, but there's limited space. So this is Rich Goldstein's party that he is hosting and has magnanimously invited the Empowery women speakers, VIPs, and sponsors to attend free. So he will probably set a price at some point that you guys can go and purchase tickets if you're not one of the VIPs. However, I don't know what that pricing is, and that's information that I don't have yet. So
just for reference, these kickoff party events, not only are they very, very good for networking, they're in themselves, they are not inexpensive, right? So I know for Prosper, I just paid money for one of these. I think I paid $80 for access to the golf and swim. Because of course there's swimming, I have to go.
Of course.
So getting access to those events included with your VIP ticket purchase for the Empowery Women's E-commerce conference. This is it's a very, very generous of you to offer it at that price point. Like it's
right.
really good.
Yeah, there's just so much that you get included with the VIP tickets. It's a little silly.
All right, so it's a 2-day event over the course of 3 days if you got a VIP. So maybe it could be 2 or 3-day event. Okay, day 1 again, learn about mindset and other information.
Yes.
From the speakers. That's an all-day event. So this is one thing that you and I hadn't talked about ever, but how long are these days? Like when does the day start and end roughly, approximately?
Yeah, it's around 8 a.m. and it goes until about 5:30. That's, like the sessions, the group discussions, roundtables, everything like that. And then the VIP dinners start around 6:30 we gather, 7 o'clock is dinner. So it's about 9 p.m. that those end. So these are really full days for VIPs where it's constant networking. You're in communication with the sponsors, the speakers, and your peers all day long, learning stuff and hanging out.
So maybe from the end of the dinner might be at like 10 p.m.?
Yeah, I would say between 9 and 10. Yeah.
So we're talking 12 hours a day. Good luck not getting value from that.
Yeah.
It's going to be valuable. Okay. If you're spending 12 hours a day with a group of passionate online sellers, okay, you're going to get some value and you will network no matter what. Let's just put it out there. If you're spending 12 hours with somebody for 2 days, that's 24 hours over the course of 2 days.
Yes.
For VIPs. Now, if you're not a VIP, here's a question for you. Let's be serious. If somebody accidentally forgets to get the VIP pick and they just get the general admission, then they are not invited to the VIP dinner because they don't have a ticket to it. So they won't be at the dinner. So they'll just have like 10 hours of content each day.
Right. Yeah. So there's still a ton of content. They still have lunch included. They just don't get the additional, the more exclusive evening stuff.
Yeah. And sorry, my math was wrong. They'll get 9 hours of content.
Right.
So it's not like it's not a bad ticket. It's $399 gets you 9 hours of content for 2 days. That's 18 hours of nonstop content live from the same speakers that are going to be at the VIP dinners. The only difference is at the VIP dinners, you kind of like, it's an extra 3 or 4 hours and it's one-on-one and it's only for the VIP ticket holders, right?
Right.
Okay. So there's a difference there and it does make a difference, right? If you've ever spent, 2 or 3 hours over the course of a dinner evening at a networking event, it can be very valuable to connect with some people, especially on that personal level, especially one-on-one. You're sitting around the dinner table and eating things, and you can like get up and move to another seat and talk to another person if you want.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not assigned seating, right? It's not going to be.
No, this is, very much meant to be a networking event. So, obviously we're sitting and eating, but there's plenty of opportunities. We'll be drinking together, we'll be eating together, we'll be hanging out. So, it's meant to be for networking, and it's meant to be in an environment where you can get to know each other better and on a more personal level than, just, sitting next to someone and learning together.
Yeah. And just for reference, again, it's Thursday for the kickoff if you have a VIP. Friday starts the main content for general admission and the virtual tickets and the videos. So the kickoff party is not part of the videos, right?
It's not part of the what? The videos. No.
Yeah. Okay. And then the day 2, it's going to be on Saturday, July 17th, which it does say up here. So that'll maybe just fix the website.
Yeah.
So here's an event gallery. So this shows you just some of the people and things that were happening I'm assuming this is from last year's conference?
Yes.
Okay, so you can see there's some people there, right?
This one was the 2019 Seattle Summit for Empowery, not the Women's Conference.
There's another one?
Yeah.
How many events are you guys doing over there at Empowery? This is amazing.
So we have a mastermind level event. This is one that we charge thousands of dollars for the tickets. That's the Seattle Summit. The Empowery Women's Conference, again, the goal of this one is to be very inclusive, and so we keep the ticket prices fairly low. We want to make sure that as many people can come as possible. And so most of those pictures that you're looking at there are from the Women's Conference, but you see the one with Kevin and Norm. That one is from the Seattle Summit. And the one with the big group photo. Yep. I
don't memorize everybody what they look like. So that's.
And there's Steve.
I know he has a beard, and that's Steve. Steve's your brother, right?
Yes.
And that's Norm.
That's Kevin King on the stage.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know Kevin. So that's Kevin. There's Norm, and there's Steve, your brother.
Yes.
And you probably know all the other people too, but
right.
That's just pictures, right?
Uh-huh.
So this is from the women's conference. So this is from last year.
Yes.
Some sponsors, including Helium 10. I noticed they had T-shirts, pens, and books at this picture here.
Yeah, they were awesome.
And who do we have here? Who's this?
Those were some of the attendees for the women's conference. So that's Melanie Katsari. You can see like there's PicFu is represented there. There's some of the Empowery shareholders. That's Troy over there. He's an Empowery shareholding member.
Isn't Troy like a super famous like 9-figure seller or something? So yeah. There, right?
Yeah.
And I can tell from the hair, this has got to be Yana or Cassandra because they have.
I think hair, that's right? Yana. I think
that's
so.
Cassandra. Well, there's two people there.
Yeah.
That's Cassandra and that's Yana. I have memorized their hair profiles.
Yeah, I'm not sure. From it's kind of a profile.
And that's Yana. There's two people there.
Yeah.
There's a hand there. She's wearing a black shirt. She's wearing a white shirt. But whatever, it doesn't matter. So these are some people that were at the conference, and they're all, not only are they fantastic, very knowledgeable and experienced people, they're also making tons of connections and business online through their services and through their companies that they provide services to online sellers. Now, here's you speaking.
Yes.
I've seen you speak as well. And there's Norm, because he's got a beard. And I can tell right away he's a Canadian. So who are we looking at here? What is this?
Yeah, so this was, I think, probably day one of last year at the women's conference. So these are the attendees and the speakers who are watching as we sort of kick things off and get the day started, I think. So you can see, some of the attendees, I mean, I don't know what you want to know.
I don't know. I mean, you put them on your website. So, I don't know everybody's back, but I know that you can tell there's people at this event.
Right. Yes.
And
it was a very successful event.
So this is last year's women's conference. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
So last year we had about 100 attendees.
Perfect. And this year you're going to have how many people?
I am not comfortable projecting that. There's just way too much in the air right now. I know that we have had a good response, and I know that Prosper has had a lot of good response, but I also know people get really weird about travel, and so I don't want to try and project that.
Yeah, well, you don't have to. That's fine. There's these people there, though, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So there's a timer at the bottom. You can buy your ticket. So there's 25 days for you to think about this, I guess, before you're there. 12 hours and 17 minutes and 19 seconds is where you can buy the ticket. So what happens if somebody wants to buy the ticket in the middle of day 2? Is that possible or not?
I actually had not thought about that. I guess it's possible, but we have no plans to change the ticket. So you just would not be getting full value for your ticket.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of value in each day, so that's fine. So if you see that when I clicked on it, or is that?
Yep, I can see that.
All right, so let's say you click on the buy a ticket value button. You got to choose from the 4 options. We got the VIP access, which we talked about quite a bit. It's $5.99. You can get as many as you like, within reason, I guess, right?
Right.
Load it up. Yep. Bring the whole family. Kids. Can kids come?
Yes, absolutely. Last year we had several. We had youth. And one of them presented their product that they sell. So we actually have that as one of our headlining events that we did last year was supporting kids who sell on Amazon.
Okay. And I see there's a space for a coupon code, right?
Yes, that is correct.
So I'm going to just show people how that works. Let's say you have a coupon code. Hypothetically speaking, let's say you put in JT Empowery Women, no S, 15. You click the check mark, and magically discount is applied. 15% off. Now it's only $509 instead of $599.
Yes.
Save more than $89 or more than $88. All right. Let's see what happens. Now, you could also get this. Digital only, full 2 days with swag. Price is $149. You can get more than one if you want to maybe send, because it's virtual, you can send the link to somebody. And if you have coupon JT Empowery Women 15, you click the button, and it's only $126 now. That's a 15% savings. So that's how that works.
Very good.
Get the GA access. Now, if you don't know that, that's not talking about the greater area for like Toronto or New York or something. We're talking general admission. So general admission access gives you access to the full event of 2 days, but not the videos and not the soiree in the Skylofts at the MGM Grand. It's $399 unless you use the code JT Empowery Women 15. And then that magically reduces by 15%, and then it's only $339. So you're saving the money there.
Yep.
From $399 to $339. And then there's also the women's conference video package, which is normally $199. And if you use this code, which again it's in the title of this live stream we're doing, JT Empowery Women 15, it goes from $199 to $169. That's a 15% savings. So you're saving about $30. And then you click continue, and you basically have purchased the ticket, right?
That is correct. Yep.
Payment, and this is all in US dollars, and it's in English. So if you want to do a different language, you can buy tickets in Finnish, French, Danish, Dutch, Bulgarian. There's a lot of languages actually. Slovak, Spanish, Swedish. Melissa, thanks for coming on and telling us about this. Before we go, clearly you're excited about this. I'm excited about this. I wouldn't be doing this with you for this time unless I was genuinely excited about it. So I'll be there, and you will be there.
Yes.
And many of the people we just talked about will be speaking there. So you'll be able to interact with everybody. Plus all of the guests that are buying tickets to attend the conference, they'll be there. Or they'll be accessing it virtually, in which case they'll be virtually there, but that's actually real time and interactive. So you get to like say hello and interact with the people in real time.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you think we should mention, a little special information for this live stream only?
I can't think of anything besides the coupon code. Maybe you should put that up on the big, letters right there so that people know what that is, and they can put that in and get started.
Very smart. So if you want to save 15% off of any of the 4 types of tickets, and you can buy more than one. So if you wanted to get, for example, a virtual access ticket to access everything remotely from like Pakistan, they could log in and do it interactively. Or if you're in Australia and you don't want to fly in, you can do that virtually. Or Canada, you're worried about the border craziness. You don't want to be. I'm in Canada, so I be careful what I say here. You access the event virtually from Canada, you can do that. Anyways, you just put in JT. So JT is like a Jacob Topping. It's an easy mnemonic there. Empowery, which is the name of the organization doing the thing. Women, because it's the women's conference, Empowery Women Conference. 15 to indicate the 15%. I'm not going to say anything else about the 15. So JT Empowery Women 15. Type all that in. Boom, 15% savings. I'm going to do a review because, again, we covered a lot of information here. In a lot of depth, actually.
Yes.
File. So thank you for joining me for this. And before I do the review, anything else we should add?
I don't think so. Yeah, I think we covered everything top to bottom. So yeah, I'm really excited to see everybody there. And I really hope that you guys, are able to swing it. And if you can't, just make sure you attend the digital conference. If you have any doubt about whether you'll get value out of networking digitally, check out some of the comments and things from Festivus. We really took great pains to make sure that people were actually getting to know each other and that it was a proper networking event, even though it was digital. It was different than everything else. So take a look at some of the other people's comments from that event that you can see on social media on some of our pages. Okay.
Melissa, I'm going to do the review. Now, have you and I done a live stream like this before where I did the review? Do you remember that?
Oh, geez. I've done so many
live.
I can't remember.
Games night. I don't think you've done a live view with me. You have no idea
what
happened.
Yeah, we did a game night together, but no, not one of these.
Yeah, well, this is better. Well, this is not better. This is going to be a little different. So I do this on all my videos, and it's very different. It's called the full review. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. If you're watching live, or you're watching the replay, this is where it's all going down in the review. All right. So Empowery offers free resources for e-commerce available at Empowery, and it's a paid cooperative which empowers e-commerce sellers through many ways. Go check out the website, empowery.com. We talked about Empowery. We talked about the Empowery Women's E-commerce Conference. We did a quick summary. We talked about the cashback you can get to Empowery members only by getting access to the vetted vendor access. This is an event that's happening. It is a conference in Las Vegas between July 16th and 17th, and maybe a little of the 15th if you're VIP. We talked about Melissa. This is you. You're Melissa. You can still say hi. It's still live. It's real. All right. Last year's, there was a women's conference that was in early 2020. We talked about that. Men are welcome to come to the women's conference. We talked about that. The inventor and CEO of Sidewalk Chalk will be speaking on day one. We talked about day one, where you're going to do learning, and day two, where it's workshops, as well as mindset on both. This event is going to be in Las Vegas and virtually, both on July 16th and 17th, and the 15th if you have VIP access. And the virtual access is only $149. It includes both days and the workshops and a swag bag. The virtual access is live in real time and interactive. It's $149. Prosper versus Empowering Women's E-commerce Conference. You get along great. You're going to be at both. They're both good. Clearly, the Empowering Women's E-commerce Conference is a better value because it costs less money and you get a lot of the same content, plus access to the workshops, plus the videos if you got a VIP ticket, plus lunches, right? You get lunches too.
Yep, you get lunches.
Both the general access and the VIP have that, and a whole bunch of other stuff we talked about. This is a summary. The virtual ticket includes a swag bag. There is the website you can go to. If you Google it, you can find it on Google, but there it is. Write it down right now. I'll put a link to that in the comments so you can get that. Basically, it is kartra.empowery.com/Women's Conference 2021. And then general access tickets are $399. The VIP access, just 200 more, it's $599. The virtual access gives you both days real-time interactive. It's $149. The VIP gives you access to the pre-event soiree in the Skylofts MGM Grand in the downtown Las Vegas, in the Strip. The VIP ticket gets you, we summarize that well in this one, so soiree, 2 VIP dinners, all the videos, both days, plus 2 lunches, plus the VIP swag bag, clearly the best deal. The videos, if you want just those, they're $199. There's 4 options: the general admission, VIP, virtual access, and the videos. The CEO of Overstock was last year's keynote speaker at the event last year. This year, the CEO, or former CEO, because she sold the company, of the Sidewalk Chalk, is this year's keynote speaker.
So she was actually the inventor, she invented Sidewalk Chalk as a thing. Like, it didn't exist before she thought it up and made it in her kitchen.
All right, Melissa, I'm gonna look stupid now.
No, I'm sorry.
Just watch this. Watch this. No, listen to my question. What is Sidewalk Chalk?
Oh, Sidewalk Chalk. Okay,
What are you talking about? What the heck is Sidewalk Chalk?
Okay, so like regular chalk that teachers use on chalkboards and stuff like that, right?
Yes,
it's like regular size.
Mathematicians love chalk.
Sidewalk Chalk is like, it's big and you use like your hand to hold it and you like draw pictures, and like it's a big version of that, and it's multicolored, and you can get, a bunch of there's kits now where it has like all the colors of the rainbow, like it's a crayon box or something, and then you can make art on your sidewalks. And what's that?
You can draw on the sidewalk with large pieces of chalk.
Yes. Yeah. And it washes off.
There you go. The inventor of Sidewalk Chalk will be there.
There it is.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. I just, not everybody knows about the sidewalk.
Yeah, sure. No, I love that.
All right. Okay. So day one, there's going to be topics including mindset and learning. There's the website again. And day two, we're going to have the workshops. It's a serious networking opportunities. Not only are the opportunities serious themselves, but there's going to be a lot of opportunity to network because, as we talked about earlier, if you have the VIP ticket, you get more than 24 hours of time with these people. That's a lot of time over that time period. Okay, bring your laptop. We're going to do things live at the workshops. The day two workshops are in small groups with individual attention. We're going to have good things at the conference. You don't know what you don't know, so come with an open mind. You're going to learn new things. There's an implementation day at the workshops where you get workbooks on some of the speakers, and that's available in the swag bag to the virtual ticket holders as well, I believe, and the VIPs. You get to meet new people and reconnect with others. We talked about meeting the Facebook people for real. Like, I'm a real person, and you're a real person.
That's correct.
We can meet. We're both going to be there. So if you come, you can also meet us in person for real. Miami, what we talked about, what really happened in Miami. We formed new friendships with other sellers. We talked about Amy Wees, who's a professional cat herder, in Miami. And spontaneous yacht rentals. We talked about that in Miami. We talked a little bit about the speakers. We talked about the secret speakers. We talked about the sponsors a little bit. We mentioned Festivus, fantastic virtual event. It was very much of a hit with many sellers. Each day is going to be approximately 8 till 5, plus extra for the extra time with the VIP dinners for VIP holders. The events review images. So we talked about what was happening there for people that aren't sure. That is the code if you want to pay less money. Of course, if you want to pay more money, do not use that code. But if you want to pay less money, just type that in, and we showed you how to do that. And that concludes the review. So
very nice.
Melissa, thanks again for coming and joining these two groups of mine that we've shared this. Plus, I understand this is a shareable live stream. So it's going to be recorded, and people can watch it later. And it's available. Where did you share this somewhere? Like, where is this available?
Yeah, this is on my timeline, so everybody I know can see this. This is also in the Awesomers Facebook group. This is in the Empowery Facebook group, and I think I shared it with our previous event Facebook groups. So
would you encourage people that are watching now, if they came this far? So we're 1 hour 46 minutes into this live stream. Now is the time to click the share button and share with people, because you might want some people that you know to come with you to the conference, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And you might want to save some money on your ticket using that code, which will be a link. So July 15th is a soiree, and then the 16th and 17th, we'll see you there. That's less than 1 month from now. Anything else?
That's it. I think we covered
that's it. Let's check
the
comments. This is live, so let's check to see if any. So again, we heard from Megalith. Hey, Megalith. We heard from Rana. Yo. And if you're watching live and want to make a comment, we'll give you 30 seconds. Starting. Hold on. Starting now. You have 30 seconds to make a comment. There's 3 people watching live right now. Plus, people have reacted emotionally through Facebook live reactions. So go ahead and make a comment.
You guys are diehards to be still with us for this long.
More people than earlier, so they like what we're doing here. I'll switch between these. Any final comments where we give them the 30 seconds here?
Yeah, I want to thank everyone, especially the ones who are taking the time to really look at all of the details of this. I understand it's a tricky decision sometimes to make for travel and stuff like that. But one of the reasons why we tried to do this back to back with Prosper was to make it a little bit easier for people who are traveling, less of a risk. You don't have to buy multiple tickets. You're already going to be staying at hotels. Most of the people were already booking through the weekend anyway, because, you might as well. And so it really was an easy win to just say, you know what, let's give people some extra value without them having to spend a lot more on travel and go to a totally different location. So we hope that we'll get to see you guys there.
I have one more thing.
Absolutely.
I wasn't going to do this, but I have to now because you mentioned the magic word. So the magic word today is travel. This is the bonus content. So do you know a lot of online sellers live in Canada, right?
I know some, yeah.
Yeah, I live in Canada. You know me. And Rana lives in Canada, and Norm lives in Canada. And there's a lot of online sellers in Canada. Anyways, if you live in another country and you want to come to the conference live, you may need some travel wizardry, because the borders between Canada and the US for travel right now are open. Meaning, if you want to fly a round trip from anywhere in Canada to Las Vegas, you can only fly through a certain number of cities: Montreal, Toronto, and I believe Vancouver. All the other cities, you cannot do a direct flight, so you have to connect through those. Once you arrive in the US, you'll have to be doing some tests for COVID on the way there, which you'll have to pass, by the way, so you must not have COVID. And then you'll be at the conference for 3 days probably, because let's be honest, everybody's going to get the VIP ticket probably. And then you're going to fly back at some point, right? So if you fly back from Canada or from the US back to Canada, then under the current rules, my understanding is you will spend, not only do you have to get tested again for COVID, but you also have to do up to 3 days in a government mandated COVID hotel, which is like, let me tell you, that is not a popular option.
Yeah.
And the rates for those hotels are market driven, but it's mandatory. So it's like basically around $2,000 for 3 extra days after you land in Canada. And then after that, you need to, well, from the date you enter Canada, after that, you have to self-quarantine for an additional 14 days after coming back to Canada, okay? So the bonus content travel tip for Canadians that want to come live to the conference, and I encourage all the Canadians that are listening to come and invite your friends because we want to pack the house too. If you want to drive, you can't because it's illegal. You cannot drive to the conference from Canada this year because, unless you're an essential worker, I guess, non-essential travel is restricted across the Canadian-US borders. You cannot drive into the US as a non-essential driver. However, if you're already in the US and you want to enter Canada by a vehicle, you can drive back into Canada. There's a few ways to do that. One way is you can ship your car to the US separate from yourself. So you can fly into the US because you can't drive, but you can fly into the US. Then you can get your vehicle delivered to you in the US. And people are doing this for real. This is like, I'm being serious. You can ship your vehicle to the US and then drive it back into Canada because you're allowed to drive into Canada, but not out of Canada. And you're allowed to fly out of Canada, but if you fly back into Canada, it's like an extra $2,000 and up to 3 days in a government mandated hotel and then another 14 days quarantine. Or if you don't want to ship your car by mail, which you can do that by boat or by air mail, or you can hire somebody to drive it. Apparently it's an essential worker can drive your car, but you can't. That's an idea. Actually, maybe you could become a delivery service for your own vehicle. Or I could drive Rana's car and he could drive mine, and then we could both drive to Vegas. But we can't drive our own cars. Anyways, if you're in the US and you want to get back to Canada, you can also fly to a city near the border and then walk across the border. That's an option. Or guess what kind of essential service there is? A taxi, right? So you can get in a taxi or an Uber or somebody who drives a vehicle across borders, essentially. Not you, somebody else can drive you across the border. That is allowed. So until the rules change, the plan is I'm going to be flying into the US through many stops. It's like a very long itinerary. And then I'll be flying near the border and like getting myself across the border by land back into Canada. And if you're from other countries, there's similar issues. So that is to say, you can get here, right? I've been talking recently with a friend of mine who lives in Russia. They live in Moscow, and the US has closed the consulates in Moscow, so they cannot get a visa from within Russia. So they'll be flying to Kazakhstan to get a visa to the US in order to enter the US to go to these conferences. Don't let rules stop you from coming if you want to come. Come. I mean, follow the rules, but there are like paths to getting to the conference that are legal, and absolutely you can do them. It will save you money. Also, for people coming in from the UK, we talked about Mel, who's coming in from Avast. So hopefully she can come.
Yep, we're crossing our fingers and our toes. We're hoping that she's going to make it. She's got her tickets, but it's going to be a tricky situation for her. So we're hoping.
Yeah, I know Danny McMillan is also in the UK. I believe he's trying to get into Prosper potentially. So if you're in another country and you're trying to get in, find out ways that you can attend live. However, for whatever reason, if you can't attend live, there is the virtual option. We didn't really spend a lot of time on it on this call, but I think for a lot of people in this year in particular, it's a really great option. So you and I had talked about this earlier, but the virtual ticket does give you access for both days, day one and day two, as well as the workshops, the speakers. and you have access live.
Yeah.
But if you want the videos, it's a separate ticket, and that gives you access after the event and after the videos have been created, and that's going to be on a portal, right? So you can click through the videos. I assume they're all going to be separated because you mentioned they're edited. So you can select the workshops. You can watch the videos. You can rewind, pause, watch them at your leisure whenever it's convenient for you.
Yep.
So there are options for everybody worldwide. And thanks for watching.
Yes. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on, Jacob. I'm going to go spend some time with my family and conclude my weekend night before we get back into everything tomorrow. So thank you so much. I know it's really late for you, and thank you guys for watching. We really hope to see you at the Women's Conference.